Hi guys, right, welcome back to my channel and to Vlogmas day 19, I want to say. Mia's here, you can hear her. I am going to wrap, excited I know, the kids' presents today. I'm gonna speed it up and I'm gonna do a voiceover. What I'm going to talk about, I don't know, but you know me, I can probably talk about whatever. I am in my pyjamas again. We went out before. Hello Mia. Yes, hello baby. We went out this morning. Mia, please, go on, good girl. Went out this morning to go see Santa. The kids loved it, great time. But I am just wanting to wrap these presents because every year I always leave it until the last minute, and I ain't doing that this year. Okay, I'm gonna get the presents wrapped and then back in there, ready to go for next week, which is crazy. I can't believe Christmas is next week. But yeah, guys, let's crack on, get it done. It's not going to take me 5 minutes on here. If you're a bit lopsided, I do apologise. The camera's kind of like, I don't know, but I've got my new tripod. We're going to see how it goes. But yeah, guys, like I said, excuse the pyjamas. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to get this done. And I don't think I have any holes in my trousers, which I don't, which is fine. And yeah, we're going to get this done, get this voiced over, get it edited and uploaded. If anyone knows how to upload in 1080p, I've tried everything. I've looked at all the videos online. I've changed the settings on my camera. For whatever reason, on my Mac, it's just not uploading on 1080p. So if anyone has any ideas, help a girl out, okay? I've tried everything. And just ignore the hair as well, okay? Let's get into it. We're going to first wrap Riley's. I did give in and give him his tablet. I was fed up of the arguments of the bloody tablet because he kept wanting Isabella's. So I gave him the tablet. So he's got that, so you will not see that here. But yeah, guys, let's just get into it and get things done. Right, guys, welcome back. I have a few things to talk about in this chatty vlog, so if you ain't feeling it, there'll be another video on tomorrow. But I've had a couple of people, you know, just asking how things are going work-wise, how I'm finding things now. I'm not a stay-at-home mum. Obviously, if you guys have watched this channel from the beginning, over a year ago, obviously I had no intentions, I don't think, at that time of going back to work. But yeah, to be honest with you, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Obviously, you guys know Isabella is our oldest. She is 3 and a bit. So I had her, should I say, in the midst of COVID. So obviously at that time, my biggest worry was staying home after having the kids. So there would be no risk, or a very low risk, of them catching COVID, because obviously that was my biggest concern. Obviously having a newborn and things like that. So obviously I was a stay-at-home mum on maternity, and you know, loving being a mum, struggling with being stuck at home, you know, because it was COVID, so everyone had to stay at home. We was obviously allowed our bubble because obviously I had a child under the age of 1, which was my parents, and obviously they helped as much as they can, but you know, I couldn't see them all the time while Jamie was at work. You know, obviously my mum worked and brothers worked and things like that, so obviously there just wasn't an option to, you know, see them 24/7. And yeah, things were great. I loved being a stay-at-home mum, and but it was hard. It was really hard. I'm sure many people, there's thousands of people, I'm sure, that's in the same, or was in the same boat. And yeah, it was very difficult. And then obviously we went through like a miscarriage and things like that, and the last thing I could think of was going back to work. So going to work wasn't even on my mind. I knew I had until Isabella was 3. And then obviously I fell with Riley, as you guys know, and then he was born, again, still during like COVID restrictions, but obviously it wasn't as bad as it was back in 2020 when I had Isabella. And again, loved being a stay-at-home mum. And obviously started my channel and things like that in the December when Riley was like 9 months. You know, I had something for me, because, I mean, I did struggle. I went from working full-time since I was 16 to then, you know, not working, and I wasn't earning my own money and things like that. You know, I was on universal credit and child benefit and things like that, as I'm sure many people are. And obviously Jamie worked full-time and things like that, but it was... I don't know, it was just different because obviously I wasn't earning my own wage, and obviously this is just personal preferences. It's just me, you know. I know people that love being a stay-at-home mum and can't even think about, you know, their biggest nightmare is going back to work and leaving their kids. It's completely and utterly, you know, personal preference. And I thought I was fine. I thought I was doing well and things like that. But obviously with having C-sections and Jamie working full-time, it was difficult with 2 kids. I had 2 kids in 19 months. It was difficult, to say the least. And to begin with, I was too busy to even consider or think about anything. You know, I had a newborn, I had a toddler, my hands were full, we got pets, got to keep the house clean, you know, there's always something to do. And then I think, you know, I just stopped going out as much, and I think I know for a fact, when I look back on it now, I know how bad it was getting, mentally for me. I was really struggling with it all, to be honest with you. And obviously me and Jamie were finding things difficult because obviously I don't know the word, I wasn't mad at Jamie at the fact that he was, you know, going out and socialising, but like obviously he was going to work, you know what I mean? So he got to go out and not be stuck in looking at the same 4 walls every day in, day out, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, this comes across like I'm 100% grateful that I was able to have, you know, all that time at home with my kids. Please don't get this, think this is me saying that I'm not grateful. I am 100% grateful for all the time I was able to have at home with my kids. I know some people have had to go back to work straight away, and I can't imagine how difficult that must be for them. But again, this is just my personal experience that I'm talking on, and this is a no judgment zone, as you guys already know that. But yes, I don't want to say despise Jamie, because I didn't despise him at all, but I started having negative feelings towards the situation, at the fact that Jamie went to work and things like that. And I think trying to explain to him, it was hard, because I didn't want to come across as ungrateful at the fact that I got to spend all the time with the kids. And obviously Jamie was working full time. He was working 39 hours a week at that point. So obviously the last thing I wanted to do was come across as ungrateful at the fact that he'd, you know, had to go back to work after only getting to spend a month with the kids. But it was difficult, I think, and I've really struggled mentally only being stuck at home. I never really saw anyone. I spoke to my parents and stuff, but I didn't really have any friends at that point. And I think it just took a major toll on me. I was the heaviest I ever was. And I mean, granted, I had 2 C-sections. I had 4 pregnancies in the space of 2.5 years. I had to, I had major abdominal surgery. I had 2 C-sections. One was emergency, one was a planned cesarean. My body had been through a lot in such a short space of time. And like I said, I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I feel like this is such a personal chat, but I feel like I just want to be honest with you guys, because I know that some of these are such taboo subjects that are just not spoken about, and I feel like even if I help one person realise, like, oh, you know what, maybe I am struggling a little bit, like, then that's great for me. I am happy with that. I was the heaviest I ever was. I don't I don't want to talk about how heavy, but yeah, and I was just struggling physically, mentally, emotionally. Me and Jamie were struggling relationship wise, but I mean, he's been amazing throughout all of it, to be honest with you. I couldn't have asked for a better person to go through it all with. But there's only so much that he understands, even though he tries his hardest, and he really does, bless him. He goes above and beyond for me all the time, and I'm so appreciative of it, even though sometimes I know it doesn't it doesn't come across that way for him when we argue, but I am so appreciative for everything that he does for me and for the kids and for this whole household. He is really helped me through everything. He's so supportive with everything. And then so I was struggling, the heaviest I ever was. Me and Jamie were arguing all the time. It was just constant. It was just, I wasn't happy. I was miserable. I think if I'd stayed off any longer, I feel like I would have got like depressed. Like, I don't want to use that word like easily, like just throwing it along, because I know some people struggle so much, but I genuinely feel like, looking back on it now, I was depressed. I wasn't happy, and so obviously I had to change something had to change, something had to give. So obviously that's when I started looking for work, and I didn't want anything too drastic. I couldn't go from not working, because obviously I'd been medically suspended back in March of 2020, and then this was obviously 2023 that I went back into work. So obviously I'm talking about 3 years, over 3 years, where I hadn't worked, and there was no way I was going to be able to go from not working to then going back to working full time. It just wasn't going to happen. So I obviously started looking, started applying, but I was 3 years out of work, and I had been a team leader before and was working on my management stuff with previous jobs, and have like management diploma and things like that I went to college for, but I mean, jobs weren't interested, and so obviously that was obviously hard. But I found a lot of jobs weren't interested in the fact, because I'd had so long off, you know what I mean? And so then obviously I ended up going back to where I first started when I was 16, and it wasn't a great job, but I'm eternally grateful for the fact that I got that opportunity again, and it definitely 100% pulled me out of that rut I was having, 110%, and I'm, like I said, I'm so grateful for that. I definitely I'm glad that I only went back. I went back to doing 20 hours a week, so I did 4 hours a night in the evening, just to kind of get myself back into work and just earning again, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing quite like earning your own money, if you're in the position to be able to. It is a dog-eat-dog world out there, I've noticed, with jobs. It's ridiculous what requirements they want from you for just like a basic entry level job. It's ridiculous. But sorry guys, Isabella was awake and needed me to go and put her lights back on, but it's fine, I'm back now. Where was we? Went back to work, and I felt like I had this massive weight lifted off my shoulders. Obviously was only at that job from May till November, and then obviously we had just some personal stuff within the household that we needed to rejig, and that is why obviously I started looking for full time, and Jamie has dropped from 39 to 30, and I now work 40 hours a week, but because it's only term time, it works out about 30 hours a week, because obviously I get paid during half term, like the 6 weeks holiday and things like that, which is great, love that. But yes, so I love this job. I enjoy this job. I do enjoy this job. The people there are amazing. The management is amazing. They're so sweet. Any issues I've had, they've sorted. With anything, they've been amazing. And I honestly, hand on heart, can't fault them with this job. The only issue is, and it's nothing to do with the job, like I say, they're amazing. The hours are great. I'm finished by 2:30. I get home by just before 3. But the only issue is obviously with Jamie's hours. Jamie starts work at Jamie leaves at 3:15 to be at work. So it's a case of, I feel like at the minute we're struggling getting used to seeing each other for probably about an hour a week, if that sometimes, because obviously if I have to go fill up, or if I've got to take a parcel, I've sold some on Vinted, or I've got to pick some up for my parents, it's even less than that. So Monday to Friday, if Jamie works all week, and obviously I'm Monday to Friday, we barely see each other, and I feel like that now at the minute is what is taking a toll on things. It's not making our relationship difficult, I think it's just we're struggling not seeing each other as much as obviously we were used to before. Like 6-7 months ago, it was just a case of Jamie was at work. When he finished work, I was home, so we could spend the evenings together and whatnot. He was always working early, so he was fine, you know what I mean? And obviously when I started working in the evenings, occasionally he'd finish at 5, but most of the time he was finished by 3 latest. So we got 2-3 hours an evening together, and most times with that job I was finished by 9:30, 9:45. So I'd be home by just gone 10 o'clock, and we'd spend an hour or whatever in the evening. So we got a good 3-4 hours together most evenings. So now I think that change is hard. I think we're both struggling with the fact that we don't really see each other that much. And I know people can be like, yeah, but then you'll never get, you're not arguing and things like that. But it's like, I feel like, we've obviously both spoken about this, and we both feel the same way sort of thing. It kind of feels like we're not relationship, we're just roommates. We just, passing in the night. Because obviously, you guys know, I get up at 5 to be at work for 6. Jamie's obviously still in bed, understandably. The kids are still asleep. So Jamie does nursery runs and deals with Riley and whatever the kids all day. Like I say, I finish at 2:30. I get home for just before 3. I get home. Jamie then taps out with the kids, goes and gets himself ready, leaves, for 3:15. And then he's then gone then until, 10, 10:15, 10:30, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. And by then I am flat out in bed, because obviously I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, we just always be like, it's just kind of a running joke now that we're like, oh yeah, I'll see you this time tomorrow for 10 minutes. So I think that side of it is difficult, and I know 110%, because I feel like whoever you talk to, Jamie at his works talked to people, and I've done it with mine. So many people have said that's exactly what it was like when my kids were little. And I feel like so much of the time things aren't talked about. Like, these kind of things just are never, I don't know, it's just not in the forefront of people's conversations. I feel like you feel like it's only happening to you, but obviously it's not only happening to you, but just because people don't talk about these sort of things. Yeah, but I mean, we're just mudding through, I think, just like everyone else is at the minute. Obviously my biggest thing with going back to work full time was because we wanted to provide more for the kids. We wanted to be able to afford to go more places, and obviously, like I say, we are so fortunate that we are able to afford to go to these places. I mean, you guys have seen we've been back to the farms and to Harry Potter World and to London, and we're thinking about taking the kids to Peppa Pig World in March for Riley's 2nd birthday and things like that. Like, we are so fortunate, and for that I am like forever grateful that we are able to do that. I know so many people that aren't in that position, and my heart really goes out for them, because I know that it isn't easy. And yeah, with just the cost of living, as everyone knows, I know everyone watching this knows firsthand what it's like, and how much things are costing at the minute. And I feel like it's a struggle when it shouldn't be for people. I don't understand why things are as expensive as they are at the minute. It's ridiculous, but I don't know half the stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like on that part I'm grateful that we both are working full time. So yeah, I suppose it does have its benefits, but then it also has its flaws. Like I say, obviously me and Jamie barely see each other, but I feel like that's just the way of the world at the minute. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I think it's gone. I'll sneeze in a minute. I can feel it brewing. Oh, bless me. But yeah, I feel like with this family growing, like my little channel, I mean, we're nearly at 700 subscribers. I think we're like one away, which is mental to me. I didn't think when I started this channel a year ago that I would even have like 300 subscribers by now, because I feel like it's just me, innit? It's just I feel like you see some YouTubers and they're like always out and about and they're buying the most expensive things, and it's just I just feel like mine is very mediocre in comparison. But you guys honestly cheer me up no end, like if I'm having a bad day or something like that, and like just your comments are just honestly so sweet. But I am hoping that I've answered enough for that very kind lady. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, so I apologise. That obviously asked about how things have changed from being a stay-at-home mum to obviously now a full-time working mum. But I feel like if you're lucky enough to have a good support system behind you, then I feel like it just makes it 10 times easier. But I mean, the cat's attacking the tree now. But yeah, I'm going to touch slightly on Riley and what happened the other day. I'm not going to get too much into depth because obviously it was like a major issue, but he, you know, he was eating and one thing led to another and he just ended up choking on his food, like, badly. And obviously we had to call an ambulance and things like that. We managed to get it moved. I managed to get it moved from his throat before the ambulance and stuff got here, and he was breathing again, he was fine. But obviously that's a massive traumatic thing that our family went through, and he went to hospital and things like that, and I mean, he's fine. He had no lasting damage, and he, you know, he doesn't remember it, he's over it, he's moved on, he's fine. I just want to say thank you to the people that have been so kind and have given us well wishes for Riley. I know it's not always easy when people are like, oh, this has happened, and then they don't talk about it. I know it's annoying, because I don't like it when people do that. Guys, that is the end of today's video. Just excuse the mess. Oh, it's pitch black outside now. I've gone through 1 battery and a half of another battery. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow. Bye.